Cool kids. We're going to talk about some fun stuff today, guys. Fun stuff. Are you guys ready for this? We're going to have like a real talk. Hashtag real talk. So, I had the opportunity to have a discussion with one of my young associates in the game night industry. It's not really an industry because it doesn't pay anything. Although we do keep ourselves gainfully employed via entertainment. So I know that doesn't make any sense, but you do have to have a little fun in life, right? So I decided he had a bunch of questions, and I'm hoping this video is going to help. Now, he had seen some of my videos on YouTube about stacking silver, and I guess sometimes you got to get back to the basics. I'm sitting here showing off coins from around the world when what I really need to be showing off for the purposes of this video is, one, what is stacking silver? Why are we stacking it? Right? And then really what should I be stacking? What should I be stacking? These are the big questions. These big questions can make a huge difference at the end of the day. There's so many variables, and I could spend years talking about it, but today it's down and dirty. It's the basics, okay? So number one, if you want to get into silver, and this isn't financial advice, this is just one person's perspective. Okay, you first have to realize that there's risk. Okay, that's number one. And there's risk in any investment, but there is a lot of risk in something volatile like silver, any commodity. Okay, commodities are notoriously mercurial. They ebb and flow in value based on market conditions, okay? And sometimes even market conditions don't really make any sense. So, at the end of the day, you have to do your own due diligence. But I will say this is not a short-term game. You are not buying this to get rich tomorrow. You are not buying silver so that you can make, 300 times your money. Is that possible? It is, but it's unlikely because silver is a known quantity. Its value, its uses, have been documented for thousands of years, okay? It is both an industrial metal and a precious metal, and that is what makes it so unique. Silver is used for more products than any other commodity that's a metal, period. It is much scarcer than people realize, too. And some will tell you that this stuff's common. Well, if we can agree that gold is rare, and silver is only 10 times as prevalent as gold in the Earth's crust, now that number may vary. Some say 13. I've seen as high as 16, but I've also seen as low as 8. Okay, so that's quite a variance. But the point is, this stuff is much more scarce than, say, copper or lead, right? Aluminum made from bauxite. This stuff at a baseline requires a certain amount of productivity to get out of the ground. You have to put in so much work to get this out of the ground. to have a viable production of silver. If the price gets below the make-even point, no one's going to dig it. All you're going to get is the stuff that they get out of copper mining from the ocean, the secondary silver, which is a lot of the silver we get now. But you have to realize we use more silver than we produce now. That's another factor that we can talk about. So I'm going on and on, but you were asking, why would you stack silver? Well, you would stack silver because you think that right now, over the long haul, that it's undervalued in terms of dollars or whatever currency you're in. Okay, that's why you're going to stack silver. Okay, now, how much should you stack? Well, there's a few concepts you need to get with. First of all, your risk is dependent on your situation. If you have a lot of petty cash sitting around and you want to have an asset, if you're worried, let's say, that the dollar's losing value, over time you think the dollar's going to die. That's, I'm not saying it's going to, I'm just saying you think that. Something like silver or gold's going to be right up your alley. These will have value no matter what value the dollar has. People will always want this stuff. Now, they may not want it for as much as you paid for it, and that's the trick here, but they will want it. You will be able to sell your silver. There is no world where you can't sell your silver. I hope that makes sense. That is a fact. There is no world, even in the apocalypse. Once people calm down and they have their food, water, and shelter covered, they're going to want this stuff. Okay? This has a lot of uses, even if it's just mirrors. It's the best conductor in the universe. It has literal uses. It's used in solar. It's used in medical. It's used for film, for x-rays. There's a lot of reasons you would want to have this. Also, it has a traditional value of being considered a precious metal. That doesn't just go away. It's in the very, mindset of investing. Even though it's been forgotten to an extent, people still know that silver is a precious metal. It still carries that title. That it's it's one of the precious metals. So keep that in mind. Come on, Eva. Eva's here. Eva, if you watch my videos, was a very naughty girl earlier. We were trying to play Cthulhu Wars, and she would not get off our map, and we ended up giving up. Yeah, she got her way. Eva, come here. Come on. No, she likes shiny. I'll give her that. She loves her some shiny. All right, so back to what I'm talking about. So the core concepts we need to understand are, one, that silver will always be valuable. It is a precious metal. It comes in many forms. I've shown you some of them here. We have some 90% silver. That's those commemorative dollars. Here's a commemorative half. There's also junk silver, or constitutional silver, depending on whichever name you want to call it. I'm fine with either. Some people get persnickety about it. That's fine too. You have bullion, sovereign bullion coins like this, 30 gram, not an ounce. It's not a troy ounce. And that's the other thing that I had trouble explaining, the troy ounce situation. So a troy ounce is not a standard imperial ounce. It is its own measurement. A troy pound is less than a standard pound, but a troy ounce is more than a standard ounce. So figure that one out. The point is that these little things are things you're going to have to learn when dealing with precious metals. You're going to have to learn what a troy ounce is, and you're going to have to learn about what different purities it comes in, okay? And I can't do all that in this one video. I can show you the basics. You got bullion, you got junk, you've got commemoratives. Some come in 90%, some come in 0.925. There's sterling silver. Let me show you some of that, okay? This is stuff that was used to make dollhouse furniture or silverware or all kinds of cool things, all right? The point is, I really do like this piece. I think it's really cool. The point is that stuff like this can be found in silver. And if you can find this under melt, I recommend buying it every time, no exceptions. There's other things. You could be stacking 40% war nickels, 35%. There's a lot of ways to stack, but the point at the end of the day, there's a few factors, and I'm going to get into this real quick. You need to consider dollar cost averaging. That means buying a certain amount, either in dollars or ounces, per month. Okay? You are going to be getting the same amount per month, or you can adjust it a little and try to buy the dips, but then you're trying to find the bottom. Good luck. You know, a lot of people have lost their butts doing that. Now, that's 2. 2 is dollar cost average. 3 is do not mistake paper silver for physical silver. If you go to COMEX or the Chicago Exchange, London, wherever you're doing it, you buy a paper silver contract, right? There's a fun video on YouTube. Check it out. Where a young investor from that, I believe it was from that Wall Street silver squeeze deal, tries to collect one of their bars on a contract, and they can't do it. They still haven't got it to this day. Okay. Now, my only point, I'm not saying you're not going to get it, but it's tricky. It's a lot harder than you would think to get delivery. If you're trying to do that, you're gonna be surprised. That's what I'm saying. All right. You are going to want to dollar cost average. You are not going to want to mistake paper markets for physical markets. Storage. You're going to want to store it safely. Get a safe deposit box if you feel safe doing that. If you want to get it safe at home, do that too. Some people bury it. I don't recommend that, but you could do it. There are pitfalls. You could become a collector. I started out as a pure stacker and then accidentally got the collecting bug. How you doing, Seneca? You want to go back to bed? You ready to drive home? All right. So you definitely want to be very, very clear on these points. You want to, have a plan. Have a plan. Have goals. Clear goals. How many ounces is enough? Okay? We call that your core position. All right? How much exposure do you want to have to precious metals? Okay? If that number is 100 ounces, okay, that's a good starting point. 100 ounces, okay? 100 ounces gives you a good amount of exposure. If silver triples, you got 100 ounces, well, you're in for, let's call it 20 an ounce, right? Well, you're in for, 2 G's, right? Well, now you got 6 G's in dollars, if we're thinking in dollars. Which is, you'll learn that's not necessarily the way to think about this stuff, but you have a position. You're in a position to capitalize on this stuff. You have exposure, okay? But exposure works both ways. If silver drops by, to a third of its current price, you're exposed to that, all right? And that goes to my next and final point, because we're running out of time on this video. I won't be too long. You do not want to overexpose yourself, okay? And what I mean by that, if you're making minimum wage, okay, and you're spending every penny you got on silver other than the rent, you're putting yourself in a bad way, okay? You're gambling, all right? First of all, commodities are a gamble anyway. They're highly volatile. Okay, now, I think in the long run, this is a winning bet. You're betting, but it is a bet, all right? You're betting against the dollar. You're betting against the current market All right. So, yeah, you don't want to overexpose yourself, but you are betting against the current paradigm. Precious metals are a vote against the status quo. And if you think the status quo isn't where it's at, that's a good place to be, as any. Other than, now, keep in mind, if you think the status quo is going down, you need to have some other things besides just precious metals, right? But that's a totally different discussion. That's a SHTF discussion. Now, do not start buying this stuff if you're serious about stacking and not just collecting, okay? These premier deluxe world sovereign silvers with a mintage of 2000, like this, yeah, you don't want that. You want this stuff right here, and I could tell you, or junk. Junk's good if the price is right. This generic stuff, over time, and you can make an argument for the sovereign stuff. And if there's something you really like and the price is right, go ahead and grab it. But with this generic stuff right here, you're not going to lose. You're going to maximize your price per ounce. You're going to maximize it, and it's recognizable. You can test this, okay? All right? You can test these. Nobody's going to get a fake past you because you're going to know how to check them, okay? And that's the other thing. Know how to check your silver. Fakes abound. Don't buy this premier deluxe. Don't be like me, guys. Don't be like me. Don't be buying premier deluxe collectibles like this. No, that's not what you want. That is not what you want. You don't want that. Right? You don't want this. You want the generic stuff. You're not trying to get an old 8 real for 3 times melt. Okay? That's not where you want to be if you're stacker. Okay? You don't want this stuff. This isn't it. This is not the stuff. But, a roll of Canadian dimes is just right. 80%, 90%, this stuff, perfect. You can build relationships. That's my last advice. Build relationships with the sellers, okay, and you will find deals. Local coin shows or local coin stores or coin shows, you can build a rapport, you can get advantage, and build fun friendships and relationships. So that's always great. There's a lot of resources for getting silver. Online dealers are great in a pinch if you can't get those other face-to-face deals. Maybe you work a lot, maybe you work nights, whatever. It's a great resource because it's always available, and if you're using auction sites, okay, you can get great deals. There's great deals on the regular sites from time to time. If you're watching, you gotta watch, you gotta know. There's cool resources for that. People do a lot of videos on them, but this is just the basics, okay? If you have any questions, ask in the comments if I can get you a more specific answer. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. I hope you find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake. And Eva says hello. Eva, say hello. Yeah. Bye-bye, guys. Thanks for watching.